Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Returning subscribers, I really appreciate you for coming back. New subscribers, welcome. All right, today's topic is on preservative beginners. Like these days I'm going to make videos for beginner friendly actually, because that's what this whole thing is all about. Okay, today I'm speaking about preservatives for cosmetics formulation. Yes, it's a known and at the same time an unknown fact that cosmetic grade preservatives are totally different from food grade food and beverages um, preservatives. I've had a situation where a student actually called me and was asking me if she could use sodium benzoate for her creams, and I'm like, no girl, those are food like preservatives and they are not going to preserve your cosmetics. Okay, personally I have some preservatives here I'm going to show them to you that I've had personal encounters with them, if you know what I'm trying to say to you, and I'm going to explain it. And I'm in Nigeria, so these are preservatives that are kind of readily available. You could actually get them, yeah, in shops where raw materials for production are being sold in no particular order. My first preservative on the list is the Phenozy Ethanol. All right, this is how it looks. This is how the Phenozy Ethanol looks. It's very water based. It's very soluble in water. Yes, meanwhile let me quickly add again that most of these preservatives I'm going to show you are preservatives for water-based cosmetics. In fact, to be honest with you, like, let me say 70 to 80% of our cosmetic formulations are actually water-based. Yeah, we have few oil-based, but mostly our formulations are water-based. Okay, Phenoxyethanol. This is one of my favorites. Phenoxyethanol can actually be active in conditions in pH levels between 3 to 10. So you see, that makes it a broad spectrum preservative. Yes. What I mean by it can be active 3 to 10% is the fact that when the cosmetic you're formulating is on the acidic side, phenoxyethanol is your guy. If it's on the alkaline side, phenoxyethanol is your girl. You understand? So what I'm literally trying to say is that it has a wide range of activity. Its stability also, it has a good stability, like temperature of stability. Like, what am I saying here? Sorry. What I'm trying to say is that phenoxyethanol is active even at high temperatures as high as 85 degrees centigrade. Yes, after all, boiling point of water is 100 degrees. So if phenoxyethanol could be active as 85 degrees centigrade, which means when your formulation is still hot, you can add phenoxyethanol. Yes, it's active at about 85 degrees centigrade, that's almost 185 degrees Fahrenheit. It is active in pH levels between 3 to 10. Oh wow. I feel this, like I use it mostly for my water-based formulations. And guess what, it has a nice scent as well, even though the scent doesn't really get into your product, but like smelling it, it has a nice scent. Okay, the next preservative I've had personal encounter with is the Germall Plus. The popular Germall Plus. They kind of look alike, but there's something I noticed. Now, Germall Plus has kind of like an oily consistency. Can you see? Shaking it in the bottle, you see it's not that flexible. Unlike the Phenoxyethanol, can you see? See? Can you see? Germall Plus, I noticed, has kind of like an oily consistency. Germall Plus is also a broad spectrum preservative actually, but it's not as broad as Phenoxyethanol. The ethanol. Germall Plus is active at about 3 to 8, yeah, on the pH scale. So it can kind of work for an acidic and as well as alkaline, but not extreme alkaline. You understand? And phenoxyethanol and Germall Plus, sorry, unlike phenoxyethanol, is stable at a temperature of about 50 degrees centigrade. Yes, that's about 122 degrees Fahrenheit. Yes, so I kind of use mostly Germall Plus for my soap production. Yeah, yeah, like, yeah, because soap most of the time is usually cold. But unlike lotion, sometimes it takes a while to be cooled, even with the temperatures, and depending on the temperature where you stay. And let me tell you something again about temperature, very, very important, is the fact that you're making products that you want to send all over the world if possible. And to be honest with you, some temperatures are really, really extreme, while some temperature like extreme cold, while some temperatures are extreme hot. Now you want to have your preservative active in whatever temperature. Even if the weather is hot, it's still stable. Even if the weather is cold, you understand. So aside from, even in the course of the formulation, you're working with the temperatures in the course of the formulation, temperatures of your environment too matters. I don't know what I'm trying to say to you here. This can go at 50 degrees centigrade, that's like half of boiling point, which is still not too bad. But at the end of the day, Germall Plus is also a broad spectrum preservative. After all, the difference between the pH level with the Pheno is not that much. This is 3 to 8, while the Pheno is about 3 to 10. Yeah. Yeah, so another preservative that I've had personally, I'm talking about preservatives that I've worked with, you understand, that's why I'm all about study your ingredients. I have a video where I even said don't discredit an ingredient, try as much as you can to lay your hand on that ingredient and have a personal encounter. So there are so many preservatives, so many, but I'm just talking of these ones that I have had personal encounter with, and I could actually sit in front of my camera and tell you one or two about them. Even though Germall Plus in some countries it's kind of controversial. Let's leave that story for another day. Yeah. So the last but not the least is the L-ascorbic acid. Now let me give you a little bit of explanation about L-ascorbic acid. We have ascorbic acid, we have L-ascorbic acid, we have ascorbic dipalmitate. All these are forms of vitamin C, that is the citric, right? Okay, but they kind of vary. Do you know why I said they kind of vary? Ascorbic acid is very, very unstable, very, so which makes it a no for formulation preservative. Yes, which makes it very, very a no for preservative for formulation, because it's very unstable. So it means that the moment there's a shift in your formulation or in even your environment, some chemical reactions happening here and there, ascorbic cannot survive. But L-ascorbic is a little bit more stable. It's much more stable than ascorbic. You understand? And ascorbic dipalmitate is another very, very stable form of ascorbic acid. I hope I'm communicating here. New formulator, I hope I'm communicating here. Okay, actually L-ascorbic acid is not something I use in my creams though, for the skin and lotions. I use it mostly for my hair products, my hair conditioners. And the reason why I use Ascorbic for my hair conditioners, and mind you, I use it alongside with Phenozy Heteronorm. Yes, now let me tell you the reason for this combo. This is an antibacterial, like it discourages the growth of bacteria, while this discourages the growth of fungal. And if you are very observant, the hair, the scalp is very friendly with fungal infections. Yes, like you have the tendency to have fungal infection on the head more than you would have on the body. I'm not saying that you couldn't have fungal infection on the skin as well, but if you notice the probability of fungal infection on the scalp is higher than on the skin, if you know what I'm trying to say to you. So that is why I mix these two. This is to discourage bacteria, while this is to discourage fungal. And I don't know if you, even as personally, if I'm doing DIY for myself at home on my hair, definitely you have this tendency of like, although most of my products don't really come for hair product, like this is an example of one of my hair products. This is my leave-in hair conditioner. I try as much as I can not to make hair products dippable. Like what I mean by dippable, I discourage the use of hand, so I prefer putting in something that you can press out and all that, you understand? But then things with hair salon, you understand, at the end of the day, the person fetching has the high tendency of putting their hands on the pump even though it's not in the scooping jar, on the pump, and putting on the head, putting it back. You understand? You know, as a formulator, you have to also think as a user, because of course being a formulator means you're also using your product. Because to be honest with you, I use my products. Yes, I don't buy products from outside. I use my products that I formulate. So you are also a customer of yourself. You understand? You're also a client of yourself. So you're putting your legs in the shoes of people that are going to use these products and do the maths. Okay, so that is it about preservatives. So personally, I have used Germall Plus, I've used Phenozy Heteronorm, and then I've used Ascorbic Acid. I mean, why Ascorbic Acid has this property that looks like sugar. Let me bring it closer. Can you see? It looks like sugar. If you're not careful, you keep it randomly at home, your kids or your family members could actually think that is sugar. You understand? And the good thing about L-ascorbic acid, again, let me add quickly on the final note, is the fact that it's stable around 3.5. Definitely citric is acid. So that is why it's not advisable to use vitamin C in black soaps, because of the high alkaline level of black soap. So putting it in black soap is useless. To just go there and sit down flat. No action. So ascorbic works more for acidic environments, and it's very soluble, water soluble as well too, and it works around temperatures around, let's say, 20 degrees. Yes, so your product, your formulation could actually be cold before you add your L-ascorbic acid. Is going to function well. So my beautiful people, my dear people, my family here on YouTube, thank you so much for coming back here to watch me. Returning subscriber, new subscriber, beginner formulator, I got your back. All right, thank you so much, and see you in another video. Bye.